Circumstance. 2 children in 2 neighbor villages, playing mad pranks along the heavy lease. 2 strangers meeting at a festival. 2 lovers whispering by an orchard wall. 2 lives bound fast in one with golden ease. 2 graves, grass green beside a gray church tower, washed with still rains and daisy blossomed. 2 children in one hamlet born and bred. So runs the round of life from hour to hour. The Merman. 1. Who would be a merman bold, sitting alone, singing alone under the sea with a crown of gold on a throne? 2. I would be a merman bold. I would sit and sing the whole of the day. I would fill the sea halls with the voice of power. But at night I would roam abroad and play with the mermaids in and out of the rocks, dressing their hair with the white sea flower, and holding them back by their flowing locks. I would kiss them often under the sea, and kiss them again till they kissed me, laughingly, laughingly. And then we would wander away, away, to the pale green sea groves straight and high, chasing each other merrily. 3. There would be neither moon nor star, but the wave would make music above us far, low thunder and light in the magic night, neither moon nor star. We would call aloud in the dreamy dells, call to each other and whoop and cry all night merrily, merrily. They would pelt me with the starry spangles and shells, laughing and clapping their hands between, all night merrily, merrily. But I would throw to them back in mine, turquoise and agate and almondine. Then leaping out upon them unseen, I would kiss them often under the sea, and kiss them again till they kissed me, laughingly, laughingly. Oh, what a happy life were mine, under the hollow-hung ocean green, softer than moss beds under the sea. We would live merrily, merrily. The Mermaid. 1. Who would be a mermaid fair, singing alone, combing her hair, under the sea in a golden curl with a comb of pearl on a throne? 2. I would be a mermaid fair. I would sing to myself the whole of the day. With a comb of pearl I would comb my hair, and still as I combed I would sing and say, Who is it loves me? Who loves not me? I would comb my hair till my ringlets would fall, low adown, from under my starry sea-bud crown, low adown and around. And I should look like a fountain of gold, springing alone with a shrill inner sound, over the throne in the midst of the hall. Till that green sea snake under the sea, from his coiled sleeps in the central deeps, would slowly trail himself sevenfold, round the hall where I sate, and look in at the gate, with his large calm eyes for love of me. And all the mermen under the sea would feel their immortality die in their hearts for the love of me. 3. But at night I would wander away, away. I would fling on each side my low-flowing locks, and lightly vault from the throne and play with the mermen in and out of the rocks. We would run to and fro, and hide and seek on the broad sea wolds and the crimson shells, whose silvery spikes are nighest the sea. But if any came near, I would call and shriek, and adown the steep like a wave I would leap, from the diamond ledges that jut from the dells, for I would not be kissed by all who would list of the bold merry mermen under the sea. They would sue me, and woo me, and flatter me, in the purple twilights under the sea. But the king of them all would carry me, woo me, and win me, and marry me, in the branching jaspers under the sea. Then all the dry-pied things that be in the hueless mosses under the sea would curl round my silver feet silently, all looking up for the love of me. And if I should carol aloud from aloft, all things that are forked and horned and soft would lean out from the hollow sphere of the sea, all looking down for the love of me. Adeline. 1. Mystery of mysteries, faintly smiling Adeline, scarce of earth nor all divine, nor unhappy, nor at rest, but beyond expression fair, with thy floating flaxen hair. Thy rose lips and full blue eyes take the heart from out my breast. Wherefore those dim looks of thine, shadowy, dreaming Adeline? 2. Whence that airy bloom of thine, like a lily which the sun looks through in his sad decline, and a rosebush leans upon? Thou that faintly smilest still, as a naiad in a well, looking at the set of day, or a phantom 2 hours old of a maiden passed away. Ere the placid lips be cold, wherefore those faint smiles of thine, spiritual Adeline? 3. What hope or fear or joy is thine who talketh with thee, Adeline? For sure thou art not all alone. Do beating hearts of salient springs keep measure with thine own? Hast thou heard the butterflies, what they say betwixt their wings? Or in the stillest evenings, with what voice the violet woos to his heart the silver dews? Or when little airs arise, how the merry bluebell rings to the mosses underneath? Hast thou looked upon the breath of the lilies at sunrise? Wherefore that faint smile of thine, shadowy, dreaming Adeline? 4. Some honey converse feeds thy mind. Some spirit of a crimson rose, in love with thee forgets to close his curtains, wasting odorous sighs. All night long in darkness blind, what aileth thee? Whom waitest thou, with thy softened shadowed brow, and those dew-lit eyes of thine, thou faint smiler, Adeline? 5. Lov'st thou the doleful wind, when thou gazest at the skies? Doth the low-tongued orient wander from the side of the morn, dripping with the sabin spice on thy pillow lowly bent, with melodious airs lovelorn, breathing light against thy face, while his locks a-drooping twined, round thy neck in subtle ring make a carcanet of rays? And ye talk together still, in the language wherewith in spring letters cowslips on the hill. Hence that look and smile of thine, spiritual Adeline. Margaret. O sweet pale Margaret, O rare pale Margaret, what lit your eyes with tearful power, like a moonlight on a falling shower? Who lent you, love, your mortal dower of pensive thought and aspect pale, your melancholy sweet and frail as perfume of the cuckoo flower? From the westward winding flood, from the evening lighted wood, from all things outward you have won a tearful grace, as though you stood between the rainbow and the sun. The very smile before you speak that dimples your transparent cheek encircles all the heart and feedeth the senses with a still delight of dainty sorrow without sound, like the tender amber round which the moon about her spreadeth, moving through a fleecy night. 2. You love, remaining peacefully, to hear the murmur of the strife, but enter not the toil of life. Your spirit is the calmed sea, laid by the tumult of the fight. You are the evening star alway, remaining betwixt dark and bright. Lulled echoes of laborious day come to you, gleams of mellow light float by you on the verge of night. 3. What can it matter, Margaret? What songs below the waning stars the lion-heart Plantagenet sang looking through his prison bars? Exquisite Margaret, who can tell the last wild thought of Châtelet, just ere the falling axe did part the burning brain from the true heart, even in her sight he loved so well? 4. A fairy shield your genius made, and gave you on your natal day. Your sorrow, only sorrow's shade, keeps real sorrow far away. You move not in such solitudes, you are not less divine, but more human in your moods than your twin sister, Adeline. Your hair is darker, and your eyes, touched with what a somewhat darker blue, and less aerial blue, but ever trembling through the dew of dainty woeful sympathies. 5. O sweet, pale Margaret, O rare, pale Margaret, come down, and hear me speak. Tie up the ringlets on your cheek. The sun is just about to set, the arching limes are tall and shady, and fair, rainy lights are seen moving in the levee beach. Rise from the feast of sorrow, lady, where all day long you sit between joy and woe, and whisper each. Or only look across the lawn. Look out below your bower eaves. Look down, and let your blue eyes dawn upon me through the jasmine leaves. Rosalind. 1. My Rosalind, my frolic falcon with bright eyes, whose free delight from any height of rapid flight stoops at all game that wing the skies. My Rosalind, my bright-eyed, wild-eyed falcon, whither, careless both of wind and weather, whither fly ye, what game spy ye, up or down the streaming wind? 2. The quick lark's closest caroled strains, the shadow rushing up the sea, the lightning flash atween the reins, the sunlight driving down the lea, the leaping stream, the very wind that will not stay upon his way to stoop the cowslip to the plains, is not so clear and bold and free as you, my falcon, Rosalind. You care not for another's pains, because you are the soul of joy, bright metal, all without alloy. Life shoots and glances through your veins, and flashes off 1,000 ways, through lips and eyes and subtle ways. Your hawk eyes are keen and bright, keen with triumph, watching still to pierce me through with pointed light. But oftentimes they flash and glitter, like sunshine on a dancing rill, and your words are seeming bitter, sharp and few, but seeming bitter from excess of swift delight. 3. Come down, come home, my Rosalind, my gay young hawk, my Rosalind. Too long you keep the upper skies, too long you roam and wheel at will, but we must hood your random eyes that care not whom they kill. And your cheek, whose brilliant hue is so sparkling fresh to view, some red heath flower in the dew touched with sunrise, we must bind, and keep you fast, my Rosalind. Fast, fast, my wild-eye Rosalind, and clip your wings and make you love, when we have lured you from above. And that delight of frolic flight, by day or night, from north to south, will bind you fast in silken cords, and kiss away the bitter words from off your rosy mouth. Eleanor. 1. Thy dark eyes opened not, nor first revealed themselves to English air, for there is nothing here which from the outward to the inward brought moulded thy baby thought. Far off from human neighborhood, thou wert born on a summer morn, a mile beneath the cedar wood. Thy bounteous forehead was not fanned with breezes from our oaken glades, but thou wert nursed in some delicious land of lavish lights and floating shades. And flattering thy childish thought, the oriental fairy brought, at the moment of thy birth, from old well heads of haunted hills, and the hearts of purple hills, and shadowy coves on a sunny shore, the choicest wealth of all the earth, jewel or shell, or starry ore, to deck thy cradle, Eleanor. 2. Or the yellow-banded bees, through half-open lattices, coming in the scented breeze, feed thee, a child lying alone, with whitest honey in fairy gardens cold. A glorious child dreaming alone, in silk soft folds upon yielding down, with the hum of swarming bees, into dreamful slumber lulled. 3. Who may minister to thee? Summer herself should minister to thee with fruitage golden rinded on golden salvers. Or it may be young autumn in a bower, grape thickened from the light and blinded, with many a deep-hued bell-like flower of fragrant trailers when the air sleepeth over all the heaven. And the crag that fronts the even, all along the shadowing shore, crimsons over an inland mere, Eleanor. 4. How many full-sailed verse express, how may measured words adore, the full-flowing harmony of thy swan-like stateliness, Eleanor, the luxuriant symmetry of thy floating gracefulness, Eleanor, every turn and glance of thine, every lineament divine, Eleanor, and the steady sunset glow that stays upon thee, for in thee is nothing sudden, nothing single, like two streams of incense free from one censer in one shrine, through thought and motion mingle ever. Motions flow to one another, even as though they were modulated so to an unheard melody, which lives about thee, and a sweep of richest pauses. Evermore, drawn from each other mellow deep, who may express thee, Eleanor? 5. I stand before thee, Eleanor. I see thy beauty gradually unfold, daily and hourly more and more. I muse as in a trance the while slowly, as from a cloud of gold comes out thy deep, ambrosial smile. I muse as in a trance whene'er the languors of thy love-deep eyes float on me. I would I were so entranced, so wrapped in ecstasies, to stand apart and to adore, gazing on thee forevermore. Serene, imperial Eleanor. 6. Sometimes, with most intensity gazing, I seem to see thought folded over thought, smiling asleep. Slowly awaken, grow so full and deep in thy large eyes that, overpowered quite, I cannot veil or droop my sight, but am as nothing in its light. As though a star in inmost heaven set, even while we gaze on it, should slowly round his orb and slowly grow to a full face that like a sun remain fixed, then as slowly fade again, and draw itself to what it was before. So full, so deep, so slow, thought seems to come and go in thy large eyes, imperial Eleanor. 7. As thunder clouds that hung on high roofed the world with doubt and fear, floating through an evening atmosphere, grow golden all about the sky. In thee all passion becomes passionless, touched by thy spirit's mellowness, losing his fire and active might in a silent meditation, falling into a still delight and luxury of contemplation. As waves that up a quiet cove, rolling slide and lying still, shadow forth the banks at will, or sometimes they swell and move, press up against the land with motions of the outer sea, and the self-same influence controlleth all the soul and sense of passion, gazing upon thee. His bowstring slackened, languid love, leaning his cheek upon his hand, droops both his wings regarding thee, and so would languish evermore. Serene, imperial Eleanor. 8. But when I see thee roam with tresses unconfined, while the amorous, odorous wind breathes low between the sunset and the moon, or in a shadowy saloon on silken cushions half reclined, I watch thy grace, and in its place my heart a charmed slumber keeps, while I muse upon thy face. A languid fire creeps through my veins to all my frame, dissolvingly and slowly. Soon from thy rose-red lips my name floweth, and then as in a swoon, with dining sound my ears are rife, my tremulous tongue faltereth. I lose my colour, I lose my breath, I drink the cup of a costly death, brimmed with delirious draughts of warmest life. I die with my delight before, I hear what I would hear from thee. Yet tell me my name again to me. I would be dying evermore, so dying ever. Eleanor. Kate. I know her by her angry air, her bright black eyes, her bright black hair. Her rapid laughter is wild and shrill, as laughters of the woodpecker from the bosom of a hill. 'Tis Kate, she saith what she will, for Kate hath an unbridled tongue, clear as the twanging of a harp. Her heart is like a throbbing star. Kate hath a spirit ever strung, like a new bow, and bright and sharp as edges of the scimitar. Whence shall she find a fitting mate? For Kate no common love will feel, my woman soldier, gallant Kate, as pure and true as blades of steel. Kate saith the world is void of might. Kate saith the men are gilded flies. Kate snaps her fingers at my vows. Kate will not hear of lovers' sighs. I would I were an armed knight, far famed for well-won enterprise, and wearing on my swarthy brows the garland of new-wreathed emprise. For in a moment I would pierce the blackest files of clanging fight, and strongly strike to left and right in dreaming of my lady's eyes. O Kate, Kate loves well the bold and fierce, but none are bold enough for Kate. She cannot find a fitting mate. My life is full of weary days. 1. My life is full of weary days, but good things have not kept aloof, nor wandered into other ways. I have not lacked thy mild reproof, nor golden largess of thy praise. And now shake hands across the brink of that deep grave to which I go. Shake hands once more, I cannot sink so far, far down, but I shall know thy voice and answer from below. 2. When in the darkness over me the four-handed mole shall scrape, plant thou no dusky cypress tree, nor wreath thy cap with doleful crape, but pledge me in the flowing grape. And when the sappy field and wood grow green beneath the showery grey, and rugged barks begin to bud, and through damp holes new flushed with May ring sudden scritches of the jay, then let wise nature work her will, and on my clay her darnel grow. Come only when the days are still, and at my headstone whisper low, and tell me if the woodbines blow. Early Sonnets. 1. 2. As when with downcast eyes we muse and brood, and ebb into a former life, or seem to lapse far back in some confused dream, to states of mystical similitude. If one but speaks, or hems, or stirs his chair, ever the wonder waxeth more and more, so that we say, all that hath been before, all that hath been, I know not when or where. So, friend, when first I looked upon your face, our thoughts gave answer each to each, so true, opposed mirrors each facing each, that though I knew not in what time or place, methought that I had often met with you, and either lived in either's heart and speech. 2. To J.M.K. My hope and heart is with thee, thou wilt be a latter Luther and a soldier priest. To scare church harpies from the Master's feast, our dusted velvets have much need of thee. Thou art no Sabbath drawer of old saws, distilled from some worm-cankered homily, but spurred at heart with fieriest energy, to embatail and to wall about thy cause. With iron-worded proof, hating to hark the humming of the drowsy pulpit drone. Half God's good Sabbath, while the worn-out clerk browbeats his desk below, thou from a throne, mounted in heaven, wilt shoot into the dark arrows of lightning. I will stand and mark. 3. Mine be the strength of spirit full and free, like some broad river rushing down alone, with the self-same impulse whereupon he was thrown from his loud fount upon the echoing lea, which with increasing might doth forward flee, by town and tower and hill and cape and isle, and in the middle of the green salt sea keep his blue waters fresh for many a mile. Mine be the power which ever to it sway, will win the wise at once, and by degrees may into uncongealed spirits flow, even as warm Gulf stream of Florida floats far away into the northern seas, the lavish growths of southern Mexico. 4. Alexander. Warrior god, whose strong right arm debased the throne of Persia when her satrap bled, at Isius by the Syrian gates o'erfled, beyond the Memmian naphtha pits disgraced, forever thee thy pathway's sand erased, gliding with equal crowns 2 serpents led, joyful to that palm-planted fountain fed. Ammonian oasis in the waste. There, in a silent shade of laurel brown, apart the Shamian oracle divine sheltered his unapproached mysteries. High things were spoken there, unhanded down. Only they saw thee from the secret shrine, returning with hot cheeks and kindled eyes. 5. Bonaparte. He thought to quell the stubborn hearts of oak, madman, to chain with chains and bind with bands that island queen who sways the flood and lands, but in fair daylight woke, from when her wooden walls, lit by sure hands, with thunders and with lightnings and with smoke, peal after peal the British battle broke, lulling the brine against the Coptic sands. We taught him loathier moods when Elsinore heard the war moan along the distant sea, rocking with shattered spars, with sudden fires, flamed over at Trafalgar yet once more we taught him. Late he learned humility, perforce like those whom Gideon schooled with briars. 6. Poland. How long, O God, shall men be ridden down, and trampled under by the last and least of men? The heart of Poland hath not ceased to quiver, though her sacred blood doth drown the fields, and out of every smouldering town cries to thee, lest brute power be increased, till that o'ergrown barbarian in the east transgress his ample bound to some new crown. Cries to thee, Lord, how long shall these things be? How long this icy-hearted Muscovite oppress the region? Us, O just and good, forgive, who smiled when she was torn in 3. Us, who stand now when we should aid the right. A matter to be wept with tears of blood. 7. Caressed o'er children by the slender hand, and singing airy trifles this and that, light hope at beauty's call would perch and stand, and run through every change of sharp and flat. And fancy came, and at her pillow sat, when sleep had bound her in his rosy band, and chased away the still recurring gnat, and woke her with a lay from fairyland. But now they live with beauty less and less, for hope is other hope and wanders far, nor cares to lisp in love's delicious creeds. And fancy watches in the wilderness, poor fancy, sadder than a single star that sets at twilight in a land of reeds. 8. The form alone is eloquent. A nobler yearning never broke her rest, than but to dance and sing, be gaily dressed, and win all eyes with all accomplishment. Yet in the whirling dances as we went, my fancy made me for a moment blessed to find my heart so near the beauteous breast that once had power to rob it of content. A moment came, the tenderness of tears, the phantom of a wish that once could move, a ghost of passion that no smiles restore. For the slight coquette she cannot love, and if you kissed her feet 1,000 years, she still would take the praise and care no more. "9. Wan sculptor, weepest thou to take the cast of those dead lineaments that near thee lie? O sorrowest thou, pale painter, for the past, in painting some dead friend from memory? Weep on. Beyond his object love can last. His object lives. More cause to weep have I. My tears, no tears of love, are flowing fast, no tears of love, but tears that love can die. I pledge her not in any cheerful cup, nor care to sit beside her where she sits. Ah, pity, hint it not in human tones, but breathe it into earth and close it up, with secret death forever in the pits which some green Christmas crams with weary bones. 10. If I were loved, as I desire to be, what is there in the great sphere of the earth and range of evil between death and birth that I should fear, if I were loved by thee? All the inner, all the outer world of pain, clear love would pierce and cleave, if thou wert mine. As I have heard that, somewhere in the main, fresh water springs come up through bitter brine. 'Twere joy, not fear, clasped hand in hand with thee, to wait for death, mute, careless of all ills. Apart upon a mountain, though the surge of some new deluge from 1,000 hills flung leagues of roaring foam into the gorge below us, as far on as I could see. The Bridesmaid. O bridesmaid, ere the happy knot was tied, thine eyes so wept that they could hardly see. Thy sister smiled and said, "No tears for me! A happy bridesmaid makes a happy bride." And then the couple standing side by side, love lighted down between them full of glee, and over his left shoulder laughed at thee, "O happy bridesmaid, make a happy bride." And all at once a pleasant truth I learned, for while the tender service made thee weep, I loved thee for the tear thou couldst not hide, and pressed thy hand, and knew the pressed returned, and thought, my life is sick of single sleep. O happy bridesmaid, make a happy bride. And that is the end of Alfred Lord Tennyson's Juvenilia. I hope you liked it. I have the entirety of his collections of works in my hand, so perhaps we'll get a little bit more into Tennyson as the months go by. Please consider following, subscribing, every sort of thing that your social media uses. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And I hope to have you back in Brendan Moir's Playwright Corner. Thank you.